All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday morning. We're coming to you live. I just want to make sure that the notifications are going through and we have an audience here before I get into this topic this morning. Get some confirmation. We got a transmission. How's the signal? Is it okay? All right, good morning, everybody. All right, well, welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I took a much-needed couple days off. But we're back in business, folks, because the truth is marching on, and our problems are not going away. They're getting worse. They're getting a hell of a lot worse, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a good friend of mine, Gary Galeno from Grindall 61, was down at the border this weekend categorizing what he saw south of the U.S. border in San Ysidro. But I want to talk to you about what's really going on, folks. And that is the invasion of the United States at the Mexican border in Southern California. Now, I live in Fullerton, California, and just so you know, if you folks want to get a hold of me, it's P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834. You want to reach me by mail. You want to send me correspondence. P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834. The United States is being invaded, but the United States is being set up for invasion by the government itself, ladies and gentlemen. I noticed a bizarre phenomenon over the past 5 days. I've had about a week off of work, and I did a lot of time looking around at different places and different things, and analyzing and categorizing the obvious. And that is, one of the most obvious things I saw was for the Thanksgiving feedings that took place for the homeless. I didn't see very many Hispanics. The majority of the people that were receiving these homeless meals were white men. And when I was at the 99-cent store this weekend, I was approached by some people trying to give away cell phones. And I looked at some of these cell phones, and my curiosity piqued me. I said, wow, these are nice phones. You know, free service, free phone, nice phone. Better phone than I have, ladies and gentlemen. A better plan of service than I have because it's free. Problem is, I don't qualify for it, but they're rather unique phones. And what I noticed was, you know, I was at the Nordstrom Rack, I was at the Burlington Coat Factory, I was at Target, I was at Walmart, I was at the mall. And what I noticed was how many people had these phones. And they're not the kind of phones you see at the Sprint store. They're not the phones you see at the Verizon store. They're very unique. They're very unique to this program. This free phone giveaway if you're on any type of public assistance. If you're on Medicaid or Medi-Cal or SSI, you know, or EBT or any one of those programs, you can get one of these phones. Well, I noticed the people that had these phones, and they had plenty of money to buy stuff that really shocked me. And the common denominator in all of this is that they were buying things that they really didn't need, from what I could see. These were things that were not necessities. So when I remember back to what's happening at the soup kitchens, and I see all these Caucasian men, middle-aged men, out on the streets out of work, and then I drive by the construction sites, and I drive by the cable installers who are setting up the 5G smart grid, or the people that are subcontracted out by the cities to synchronize the traffic light systems. I see all the day laborers that look like they came up from Mexico, and they're the ones that have all the jobs, while the white people are out at the soup kitchens in the streets. You see, let me explain how this whole thing works, folks. There's a reason why we're being invaded, and the government set this thing up perfectly. Here's the deal. How do I know this? Well, I live in a city that's basically given over to government employees that have made a complete industry out of importing poverty, importing illegal aliens, and setting everything up in terms of bed, breakfast, daycare, and everything else. Because here's how it works. I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. You see, the laborers come over the border, they jump the fence, they pay whoever to jump the fence, or they just come in the middle of the night, because Trump's done nothing to seal the fence off, and now he's being forced to, because now the heartstrings are being tugged because they're showing children running away from tear gas. You know what? Why are you dragging your children thousands of miles to on a dangerous journey to invade a country? Why don't you stay and fix what you have? Why don't you try to make what you have better? If you want a better life, get in line. The United States does not have room for everybody that doesn't have any money. You have to come in here with some skills and some financial backing. But what happens is the men come and the women come from Mexico, and the men get the women pregnant, so the anchor babies are automatic citizens. And what happens is they never get married, because then they get to keep their welfare benefits and their EBT card that kicks out like a slot machine when a casino first opens. And they get to supersize me at the drive-thru and get whatever they want at the conveyor belt at the grocery store. And then the men get to live in the Section 8 housing because they don't declare them as residents. And the women get free housing, or very, very low priced housing where it's almost next to nothing. You can get a $2,500 apartment for $300. That doesn't take much when the man that you're not married to is working under the table, taking the jobs away from all the Caucasians, because the businesses want to hire the cheap labor and not pay them any benefits and pay them under the table. And so what happens is these children that are born, these are the object of desire of the school district, because they fill the classrooms for the daily attendance revenue. And so we have these industries that pop up, these social service industries and these charity organizations, to make sure that all these people get free housing, free phones. They got these free medical programs. They have free health insurance, and they have free dental insurance, and they have free sex changes. They have free food, free diapers, free infant formula. And they don't pay any taxes because they're working under the table, and then they'll file for the earned income tax credit and get $10,000 at the end of the year. And they'll qualify for the low-cost vehicle insurance, even though they're driving around with no driver's license. Did I mention the daycare, before school care, the after school care? Did I mention that? Did I mention that? Well, here's the deal, folks. Wouldn't you want to invade this place if all this stuff was free? Well, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what's going on. Now, here's how the government is pulling this off. They're keeping the magnet turned on full Gauss to draw everybody up for all this free stuff. And it brings me back to my point. You know, these people that you see with these welfare phones, they've got a lot of disposable income, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know why? Because you see, Joe Imbriano has to pay mortgage. Joe Imbriano has to pay property tax. Okay, I just had to mail in my property tax, and it's quite a sum of money. I have to pay for my electricity at the full rate, and my water at the full rate, and my gas at the full rate. And my wife and I have to pay for medical insurance for myself, my wife, and my children. We have to pay for dental insurance. We have to pay for car insurance. We have to pay for food. And of course, we have to pay our mortgage. We have to pay for our housing. Now, if I didn't have to pay for all those things, then I would have plenty of money to fill my shopping cart at the Burlington Coat Factory full of a bunch of trinkets and a bunch of junk. And I could fill the conveyor belt at the grocery store. You know, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I guess there was a fight on, or some fight event, big fight, you know. And there's this lady in front of me at the 99-cent store, and she's piling on these big bags of Cheetos and beer and junk food. She had a nice purse, because you know how I know what a nice purse is? I go shopping with my wife, and I look at some of these nice purses. And she breaks out the EBT card to pay for all of these big bags of chips for her fight party. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we're being invaded not only because the government has these magnets turned on full blast for these people to come in here and rip us off, take our jobs, fill up the classrooms, and now we've got school being taught in Spanish in Fullerton. That's right, your tax money. But we also have the government, the Trump administration, cutting off aid to Central American countries to drive up the despair, to get the fire lit, to get those people headed north for the winter, folks. This is a setup that's being promulgated and provoked and paved by the Donald Trump administration and his handlers, ladies and gentlemen. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, folks. You think I like talking about this? Well, you know, when I see a common denominator, and I'm going to be frank with you, when I see Assurance Wireless handing out these fancy big fat smartphones that have a better camera on it than mine does, with a better battery life than mine does, with a better plan because it's free and they don't have to pay for it, and they get better health insurance than I do because they don't have to pay for they don't have co-pays, they don't even have to pay to get a ride to the doctors. Not that I would ever want to take my kids to the doctors, folks, because that's not a very good place to take your children. My point is that the government on two ends is fueling this invasion. They're stoking the flames of it down south, and then the media is ramping up the bleeding heart cause for these people that are heading here to take your kids' classroom space at the college, and your kids' classroom space at the school, and your kids' place in line for the free lunch. You realize that when you don't have to pay for housing and medical and dental and daycare and food and diapers and utilities, do you know how much money you have left over for the massage parlor happy endings? Well, why do you think there's so many massage parlors? Why do you think so many of these day laborers are seen going in and out of these massage parlors? That's a whole nother discussion, folks. This is insanity. This is insanity. How do we solve this problem, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we need a regime change in the White House. And we need to seal our borders, and we need to start deporting everybody that doesn't belong here. And we need regime changes in city councils that have voted for sanctuary city laws. And we need a regime change in Sacramento. And we need a regime change in all the colleges and the school districts that are catering to and rolling out the red carpet with the Oscar-type after-hours party for these people. And that is what's going on. They are catering to the illegals, ladies and gentlemen. And you want to know why you've got to pay all these taxes? And the roads are all busted up? And, you know, there's never enough? It's because it's going to people that are raping the system. And raping the system means cranking out anchor babies. That's right. And working under the table, not paying your taxes, you know, signing up for the free lunch, the free medical, the free daycare. That's right. There's all kinds of free daycare in my city for people that are on the doles. But when I want to use the daycare facilities, I've got to pay $1,000 a month. There's after-school programs that are available for free for these people, but not for the Imbrianos. We have to pay for them. They have lunches at school, but they're free, but not for the Imbriano family because we have to pay for them. There's medical insurance available through the county of Orange. It's called One Care. It's got the best plan in the nation. That's right, folks. It's got zero copays, zero deductibles on everything, and it's got free transportation to and from the doctor's offices and the testing facilities. And guess what? It's got no annual cost, no annual premium. But the Imbriano family has to pay for their insurance for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a year. That's right. And if I want to run my air conditioner, I got to pay for it because the Imbriano family has to pay for the electricity and the water. And when I go to the grocery store and I swipe my card swipes, and there's a little thing that shows up on the screen that says Visa. Now, when I see these people loading up the conveyor belt, their thing says EBT, and they get all that for free. My thing comes due at the end of the month, and if I don't pay it, I got to pay 20% interest on top of that. They get it for free. How is this even possible, folks? How is it that we could sit here and think that this guy in the White House is any different than the guy before him, when we've got sanctuary states popping up like mushrooms on an Arkansas chicken farm after a thunderstorm? We're being invaded, ladies and gentlemen, and now the media is playing it like it's this big old humanitarian cause. Let me tell you what the humanitarian cause is in the United States right now. GM's cutting another 15% of their workforce. Layoffs are going everywhere. The jobs are disappearing because of automation, and they're flooding the deck with illegal alien cheap labor, folks. That's right. And it's a self-destructive downward spiral because the more that come, the more that draw, and the more the tax base disappears, the wages, it's a race to the bottom, folks. It's a race to the bottom. We're being invaded, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a national situation of emergency. We're in a national crisis. I'm not even going to go into the importation of the crime and the disease, because that's a whole nother industry that's being set up. And guess what happens when you get somebody that's born here? You know, you crank out anchor babies like Model Ts, right? And then they go straight into what? They go straight down the assembly line of education. And guess what they do? Kindergarten through college, paid for, lock, stock, and barrel, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, daycare, after school care, everything. But guess what happens when they go down that assembly line? They all come out the same. They all come out with the same political ideology. Marxism, socialism, give me everything for nothing. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And that is how the game is being played. And then we talk about how they pull the lever for the socialism. They need regime change in every element of our government, folks. All the way down to the principal's office. Okay? This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling you right now that when I have to buy my Christmas presents for my family, I have to deal with a budget. You don't want to know why? Because I've got to pay for housing, food, utilities, medical care, dental care. That's right. That's right. Diapers, formula, backpacks. I got to pay for all that stuff. Shoes. That's right. But it's not the case for the invasion people, folks, because they don't get married. They crank out anchor babies and they hit up the massage parlors for their happy endings. And you think I don't understand what's going on? Yo hablo español, yo hablo con estas personas. Yo entiendo qué hacen porque me dicen que les gustan el happy ending. Y me dicen, ¿por qué, José? ¿Por qué gastas tanto dinero pagando para una casa, para una mujer, cuando puedes comprarla por $40 por una noche? Es lo que me dicen. Y andan orgullosos. They're proud of telling me. I talk to these guys. I speak the language. I have conversations with some of these people. They brag about how it's crazy that the gabachos pay for houses when they just go to the massage parlors and they don't get married. I'm telling you the truth, folks. There's a reason why it's hard raising a family the right way. You want to know why? Because when I try to get my kids into college, they got the wrong color of their skin. They're discriminated against because they're not a minority. And then my tax money goes to pay for all this stuff. To roll out the red carpet and set up the bed and breakfast, free housing. That's right, when they go to college, they get the free housing. My kids can't even get into the school. There's no room. They're impacted. The classes are all full. The parking lots are all full. Amazing. My parents' tax money paid for all this. My tax money's funding this big rape of the taxpayer operation, and all these people are making a living off of being part of these foundations and these social service agencies. You know, I watched a council meeting, a city council meeting. I'm not going to these stupid things anymore because Fullerton's toast. It's toast. California's it's not a defensible space. I'm out of here. But I'll tell you, I watched because you know, the city's trying to get they're trying to rein in some of these homeless shelters that are popping up, and now we got these drive-in park your car and sleep in the church parking lot deals in the middle of residential neighborhoods. And so the city's saying, hey, you know, we gotta regulate this stuff because it's out of control. And I agree, it's out of control, and it's out of control for a lot of reasons. But the reason we have a homeless problem, ladies and gentlemen, is because we're being invaded, and the red carpet is rolled out for people that don't belong here, that have broken the law, that have engaged in criminal behavior. They're engaged in identity fraud. They're using fake social security numbers. They have fake identities, fake IDs everywhere. I mean, there's voter fraud, identity theft, criminal tax evasion, you name it. And we've got a bunch of Caucasian men in the soup kitchen lines, folks, and we got a bunch of Caucasian men under the bridge at the river, and we've got people that are in this country illegally filling up the affordable housing units, filling up all the county medical facilities, and filling up the hospitals having babies. What the heck is wrong with this picture, folks? I'll tell you what's wrong with this picture. Everybody that showed up for that council meeting spoke against the city's ability to regulate homeless shelters on churches. And you know what? It was like a cast of characters. This person's working for this nonprofit. This person from this nonprofit. This person from the county. This person from the city. This person from the state. This person from this other nonprofit. Rolling out the red carpet for the importation of poverty. These are the same people that are demanding sanctuary cities and that we don't enforce our immigration laws. These are the same nonprofits that demand that we hold off enforcing our laws. These are the same cast of characters that want to make sure that everybody gets their stuff for nothing. These churches, these government agencies, these government agents. It's time for regime change in the United States, folks, at all levels. It is our money. It is our country. These are our homes. These are our communities. And people just voted to give away the farm, to give away the barn, to give away the saddlery, to give away the silo, to give away the pond, to give away the feed troughs, to give away the processing, everything. California is being run by the drug cartels now, folks. That's basically what it equates to. And while some people like, well, I'm going to sit home and you know, enjoy my Prop 13 property tax and you know, watch my Geritol commercials on Jeopardy because none of this affects me, the heck it doesn't. The heck it doesn't, folks. You wait until somebody that's been sleeved from head to toe, that's in the MS-13 gang, kicks your door in and puts duct tape around your face and straps you to your bed while they do things that are unconscionable, and as they rob your house. Because the more the invasion continues, the more the invasion's going to hit home when they kick your frickin' door in. I don't know exactly what the solution is aside from regime change, ladies and gentlemen. And you need to demand that they stop teaching school in a foreign language in the United States. I go to the DMV and people are getting registered to vote with matricula cards, and it's up on the teleprompters in Spanish. It's unbelievable, folks, and you wonder why the elections went the way they did. That's enough. I've had it. My handler's calling. That's my wife. I gotta go. God bless all you guys. We're back in action. We'll see you tonight.